Jim Crine, Shepherd Express here with Bill Schroeder, Bill Rock Schroeder. Where did you get the nickname?
I can't tell you that.
Well, you have to.
No, that's a secret. I got that way back in A-ball. That's the real story, but I can't tell you that story. The other story that I tell is that I was in AAA. It was a play at the plate. We were in Vancouver. It's ball from the outfield. Kevin Bass, remember Kevin Bass, former Brewer? Threw a ball in, took the mask off, smashed me right in the eye, just exploded above my eye. That's not funny.
I'm not laughing.
But what Chuck Porter said was funny. It sounded like a rock hitting a wall. So after that, I was known as The Rock.
Did you cry at all?
Absolutely.
Okay. If you had a choice, your last meal on death row, what would it be?
Wow. Death row?
Death row. Well, I'm not saying what you did, but you're dying.
All right. Well, probably pizza.
Well, what kind?
From New Jersey.
Wait, where are you from?
New Jersey.
Why?
That's
Why are you
where
still
my mother squirted me out, man. I have no control over that.
One last one. Cubs are in town. What's the perfect scenario coming out of this week?
3 out of 4. I mean, you can't expect to sweep any team, but, I think that the Brewers at home, they've been so good. Cubs have struggled on the road. They've been lights out at home, just like a lot of teams in the National League. But, 3 out of 4. I think that 3 out of 4, worst case, split the series. I don't think anybody's going to win this division this week, and nobody's going to lose this division this week, but it's going to be important to make a statement, one of these two teams.
Bill Rock Schroeder, don't ask him where he got the nickname. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. You're the first one. All right, Jim Crine, Shepherd Express Sports. We're here with Brian Anderson, second year in the booth. You're doing a great job. I love it. Did Bill Schroeder ever, haze you in this process?
Yeah, I carried his luggage, for a while, put it in his room. He never really goes to his room, so I just lug it, and then I'd pick his luggage back up.
Was there any funky stuff in the luggage?
No, there's a lot of stuff that really, a lot of rodeo rub.
You did a lot of golf before this. What was the most boring golf event you'd ever been to?
I don't think I ever did a boring golf event. They're so lively and entertaining. It's all fun. It's always good.
Have you ever been hit by a foul ball right in the skull?
No, but I've been hit by a foul ball in the ribs. Yeah, not in the skull, though.
In the major leagues, what's the best meal you've ever had at a ballpark, and what was it?
Best meal, I think, was in Houston. They had Mexican food, fajitas. So, because I missed that bad. And so when we go to Houston, I get that, and it's pretty good.
Brian Anderson, Milwaukee Brewers announcer, Jim Crine, Shepherd Express Sports. Thanks very much, Brian.
Sure.
Thanks, man. We're just doing this. Jim Crine, Shepherd Express Sports. We're here with Kent Sommerfeld, also known as Bob Euchre's producer. How did you get the nickname Sammy?
It was a hybrid nickname. Pat Hughes, who's actually in town with the Chicago Cubs, had a guy he knew that was Sammy Khalifa, played with the Pittsburgh Pirates. So he said I looked like him. Bob Euchre said I looked sort of like Sammy Davis Jr., so the hybrid name stuck, and that's how my name became Sammy. Nickname, of course.
Does your wife call you Sammy?
Not yet, no.
What about the kids?
Sometimes, yeah. They hear it, or whoever drops it on me, they might just mimic and copy them.
What is the funkiest thing Bob's ever worn to a broadcast?
A mummy suit.
Tell me a little bit about that.
We were in Minnesota one day, and it was Mother's Day, so he got himself wrapped up like in a mummy suit, and he said, Happy Mummy's Day.
Final question for you. If you could be an NFL football player or in a ballet, what would you rather do and why?
NFL football player. For most certain. Why? Go catch that touchdown pass. I'd like to be like Joe Namath. You got to declare that you're going to win the Super Bowl by making the catch as an NFL player, whether it's a quarterback or receiver, whatever.
Are you saying you don't have the legs for a tutu?
No, I don't have the legs. I got chicken legs. I don't have ballet legs, and I don't like those little slippers.
Kent Sommerfeld, producer for WTMJ, and Bob Euchre. And thank you very much, Kent.
Anytime. All right, Jim.
We're here with Rob Edwards, the voice of the Brewers, but Rob, basically, why did you go into radio and not TV?
Oh, come on. Hey, and when you call me the voice of the Brewers, don't say that too loud when you're just down the hallway from Bob Euchre, because he's the voice of the Brewers. I'm the voice of Miller Park.
Can you speak Spanish?
Sí.
Have you ever had to introduce someone in Spanish?
Oh, I have, as a matter of fact, a couple times with one of the guys, Francisco, who used to work the Telemundo games. I had to do it in Spanish. The whole day was dedicated, and I think it was right around the time where they brought the chorizo into the sausage race.
Have you ever ordered a very expensive bottle of champagne?
No, I don't drink.
You really don't?
Not anymore.
What did you do that made you stop drinking?
Well, that's a long story, but let's say I had a pain in my chest. How's that?
I'll let you go with that because Rob's recovering from some serious stuff. But last thing, any thoughts on Milwaukee radio and the way it's going these days?
Any thoughts on Milwaukee radio? Well, I have to say that the company I last worked for kind of took.
Wait, which one? The one before, or okay, the one before.
No. The last one I worked for kind of took things as low as they can go. They can only get better. And we've still got a lot of quality radio here in Milwaukee and Wisconsin, truthfully.
Yeah, right. Jim Crine, Shepherd Express Sports. Thank you, Rob Edwards. Thanks, Rob. Hope trouble. Awesome. Jim Crine, Shepherd Express Sports. We're here with Len Casper, the voice of the Chicago Cubs. What do you know about the Black Rebel Motorcycle Gang?
The Black Rebel Motorcycle Club is an excellent rock band out of L.A., and I believe the lead singer is the son of the lead singer from The Call, and the guitar player is from Brian Jonestown Massacre, from the movie Dig, which you watched and you dug. Right?
When you were young, did you have to work on mnemonic things to kind of memorize everything? Because I've met elephants that have less of a memory of you.
Well, it's my job to remember obscure stats and to have trivia stuck in my brain that really doesn't mean anything.
You played baseball in high school, correct?
I did.
Now, if you had a choice now to play for a major league club or, say, be a premier dancer in a ballet, what would it be?
Oh, I'd be a baseball player, no question about it. I think I'd want to be a pitcher for some reason. I think the art of pitching is very intriguing.
What would you throw?
I would throw a two-seamer, change-up, and maybe a screwball, since you don't see that pitch very often.
If you could bean anybody as a pitcher in the major leagues right now, who would it be?
Well, you'd be playing, right?
If I were, I know you'd bean me, but who would you like? Come on. Just tell him the team he's on.
Oh, no, I wouldn't. Oh, what team he's on? Maybe the Brewers.
Jim Crine, Shepherd Express Sports. Thank you, Len Casper, with the Cubs. Thanks. Jim Crine, Shepherd Express Sports. We're here with Will Tinsley. That's British, right?
That's correct.
Is your family from Britain?
No.
Are you from Britain?
No.
You talked a minute ago. Tell us a little bit about your job duties with sports in general.
Sports in general, I specialize in robotic cameras. Specifically, we operate those cameras from very different perspectives. Places where normal cameras can't go. We operate those through a joystick console, kind of like a video game. And
have you ever had a player be a real jag to you?
Players, no. Coaches, yes.
What'd they do?
Managers at baseball games will oftentimes we have our cameras mounted in the dugouts, and they can be. Some managers find that very intrusive, and it's always accuse us of stealing signs or reading their paper.
Which is true, right?
Oh, absolutely.
If you ever had a chance to shoot a porno movie, would you?
Would I? Sure.
What's your favorite porno movie?
I don't have one.
Do you have one you don't like? Oh. Will Tinsley, he works for the Brewers. He works for everybody. Thanks for Shepherd Express Sports. I'm Jim Crines. Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Jim Crines, Shepherd Express Sports. We're here with Larry Baldessato, who's a baseball writer, and probably for the last 50 years.
Oh, at least.
He played with Ted Williams, minor league ball. Tell us a little bit about Ted. Where is he now?
Ted's chilling in Arizona.
Describe that a little bit for me. Where? Is he in cryogenics?
Yes, he is, unfortunately.
You wrote a book on Ted. What was his demeanor when you met him?
Ted had mellowed by the time I met him. He had that reputation as being temperamental, volatile. I met him first in '82 at spring training. My son was 5 years old. Called him over, gave him a batting tip. Second time was in '92 at his home in Florida. Spent an hour and a half with him in his living room, just the two of us. Not as a writer getting a story, but just talking to him. Again, he's one of the smartest people I ever talked to in my life, and had insatiable curiosity. He was asking me more questions than I was asking him about politics, about conservation. Just an amazing individual.
And did you have any answers for him?
No, nothing.
You're a professor of Italian studies, correct, over UWM?
That's right, and director of the Honors College.
Can you give us a baseball wrap-up in Italian?
Ma è il gioco più grande del mondo, il baseball. È favoloso.
Once more in Italian, who's going to win the series?
Io sono un tifoso dei Red Sox.
Jim Crine, Shepherd Express Sports with Larry Baldessato. We thank you very much. Hi, Jim Crine, Shepherd Express Sports. We're here at Miller Park with Mr.
Ernie Knobloch,
And he's
Oak Creek, Wisconsin.
he's not. He's from Chicago, really. And tell us the deal with the license plate. Did you make that in prison?
This cost me about a month to try to get this one. So many people had Cubs license plates. This was about my 15th try, and it finally worked.
Did you have to wrestle or shoot anybody for that thing?
No, not at all. Just had to pay my $75 to the state of Wisconsin, and I've got it.
Are you worried about your safety at all when you come to and from the park?
Well, if I meet a guy bigger than me, but most people are smaller than me, so
How big are you?
6'1", about 250.
I do that for lunch. That's nothing. 6'1", 250. Tell us a little about your sign.
Well, there's so many fans here from Chicago. I feel like we've taken over the ballpark. I know the Brewers don't like it, but you got to admit it's about 50-50 Cub fans, Brewer fans when the Cubbies come up here.
If you had a clear shot at Sabathia and take a sucker punch, would you take it?
No, because that would land me in jail.
All right, let's say you're not going to jail. Would you take it?
If I was a pitcher, I might throw a fastball at his right arm.
Thank you, Mr. Knobloch. We're at Miller Park, Shepherd Express Sports. Thanks very much. Jim Crine, Shepherd Express Sports. We're here with a couple beautiful ladies. You have something in your teeth. What do you have there?
Licorice.
What do you have in your teeth?
Nothing. Licorice.
Nothing. You look like you've been working with the weights. What's the deal with the hands?
We're pumping iron for the Brewers. Brewers are going to go all season long. So are we. We got to have good drinking hands for the rest of the season.
Does this work for you sexually? Are men attracted to this?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
What do they say about women with big hands?
Big hands, better hand jobs.
Well, that was my next question. So you came out to the park tonight. Are you a Cubs fan, or are you just wearing?
No, Brew Crew all the way.
Where are you from originally, both of you?
I'm from Plymouth, Wisconsin originally, but I live here in Milwaukee. Delafield.
Do either of you have a thing for sheep?
I don't have a thing for sheep, but I have a thing for goats if it's going to screw over the Cubs.
Oh, that's right. You're talking about the old curse.
Yes, absolutely. 100 years and counting, because it's not going to happen this year either.
What is it about? We were talking to some women earlier that like to see some of the players naked. Who would you like to see naked?
I would go with Gabe Kapler. Ryan Braun. Hello.
Now, why Kapler? He seems kind of like a veggie, kind of tantra guy. Tantric?
Good Lord. He's fabulous. Fabulous. You know who else is looking really good lately, too? Chris Capuano. I know you're in Arizona, honey, but you're looking great.
What would you feed him? If you were married to him and you were in like a negligee or a thong, what would you feed to him? Grapes or what?
I would go with licorice. I'm going to go with a good old U-Singer's hot dog.
If you were a last meal on Earth, this is it. You, Ryan Braun, and who the heck did you like? Kapler?
Kapler.
Would you like to be Mrs. Kapler? Would that be all right?
Oh, absolutely. I'd leave my boyfriend for Gabe Kapler.
Well, I'd leave your boyfriend for Gabe Kapler as well.
I'd leave my boyfriend for Brett Favre, too, but now he's going to play for another team, so I'm kind of...
What's the latest on that?
The latest is we don't care. We're in the A-Raj era. What? A-Raj. A-Raj. Oh, Aaron Rodgers. Good Lord. Get him in my pants.
You read the Shepherd? Are you a Shepherd fans?
Oh, hell yeah. We're both Madison alumni. Thank you very much. Yes, and we do read the Shepherd. Absolutely.
You look at the porn ads in the back at all?
Do you want to hear a crazy story? My friend Dawn was she was a number off from one of the ads, and they actually put her in with her number. So we'd be at work, and she'd be like, "Oh my God, this guy wants a bone."
Ladies, you're beautiful, sexy. We're at Miller Park. Jim Crines with Shepherd Express Sports.
Can you hold on just a second? I think this is my little brother, and he's coming here.
You brought a couple kids the other day, didn't you?
I did it around my cousin yesterday. My brother there today.
Trini, Justin.
Justin. Trenny. Nice to meet you. Brendan? Oh, hi, Brendan. No, you look exactly like a guy who works for this stuff for us. Brendan, nice to meet you.
Let me see if I can get Ron.
Can hold this one.